Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? We're happy to be here with you and have some awesome announcements for you. Just doing a quick sound check. I think we're live now. So if you could just type in the chat that you're hearing us okay, that would be helpful. And I think there's a little bit of a delay. So both Lance and Kat, you should both have gotten presenter links in your Gmail account. So if you want to find that, that's the best way for you to share your updates tonight. So probably best to log out of, if that's Lance Williams, I believe it is. So if you're okay with that, if you don't mind logging out and finding that presenter link in your Gmail account and coming and join us on the other side. So, okay, once again, thanks so much for attending tonight's session. I know everybody's schedule is busy. It's a Sunday night. We don't have all our presenters here yet. We're missing Star and a couple of others, but we're going to just move through what we can until we hit a point where Star's needed to do an update. I'm sure that's what she'd like us to do to get the ball rolling. So again, welcome. We've got a lot of exciting updates and news for everyone on this 26th day of June 2016. So we have about 9 to 10 updates for you, and we're going to start off with the Bolton Valley, Vermont campaign. And Susan, I'm going to turn the microphone over to you. I believe you're going to have to unmute to share with everyone the exciting things that are going on up in Vermont.
All right. Well, hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me, Allison and everybody?
Yep.
Okay, great. So what's happening in Bolton, Vermont? I think we've talked about this a little bit. I moved to Vermont with the thought and the inspiration to be in Bernie Sanders' country and to participate in an Ubuntu contributionism community. And when this first started, I was contacted by Krista and David and Morgan in regards to their beautiful lodge in Bolton Valley, and I went up there and visited them. So what I can tell you is that these people and the community there are all in. They're completely, fully dedicated to the Ubuntu movement on every level. They're very open, very loving, very honest, and so committed and willing to work very, very hard to make this happen. It feels like heaven on earth over there. I know there are at least 1,000 acres. There's a resort that has at least 200 rooms. So we're not only speaking about an Ubuntu community, but we're speaking about creating or co-creating a conference center with a festival site and a restaurant and cafe. So this would be a local, national, international center, really a sacred site for this movement. It just so happens to be 15 minutes from Bernie Sanders' home of Burlington, Vermont, and it's an exceptional place. This opportunity came up spontaneously. I can tell you that Krista, David, and Morgan feel confident that this money can manifest and all will be raised. The physical location is ideal. The neighbors are innovators and engineers and people in the woods. And other folks involved are already, like their passion, their mission in life is to remove communities and cities off the grid. And they've been following Michael Tellinger's work for years and years. So, it's very exciting. And I ask you all to share the news of this video that was made. Clearly, Michael Tellinger actually spoke with Krista and believes in it and supports it and created the video. So we could share the video in all ways and, have the faith that this is moving forward. We're creating a space for something quite exceptional. I see that Morgan is here. If she has anything she wants to add or type in, or if you have any questions, I am happy to, to answer them now or in the future, near future. I wonder if I'm...
You still there?
Yes, welcome, Morgan. I see Allison is saying that. Morgan, are you there? Can you? We're all here. Well, hi, Krista. Hi, David. They're all here. Um, so I think that if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, that's it for now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Susan. So what I'll do is I'll monitor the chat through the evening, and I'll pull out any questions. I know you're not able to stay the entire time, so if anything comes up, I'll make sure that I'll pull the question out, and then if Morgan hasn't answered it, that team who's behind Morgan's name doesn't answer it, I'll forward it to you so that we can follow up with folks, if that sounds good to you.
Yeah, I mean, something else I could mention is there are a number of us working on connecting with Bernie Sanders to get him involved with this too. I think that would certainly take care of things quickly. And there have been little miracles happening, like my calling some friends who are about to walk into see Bernie in New York. So there's a lot going on, and we'll keep everybody posted as it unfolds. All right.
All righty. Thank you, Susan. So we're just going to keep going. I don't see Star is here, that she's here yet. So I know she wanted to give some information about the major fundraising opportunity. So I'm going to leave that on for now and skip over that. And the next thing that we wanted to do was we have a very special welcome to Myra Jackson. She is a UN permanent representative, and she's also been very willing with open arms to serve as on our team of elders. So I am going to now move ahead. I'll move the slides ahead for you, Myra, so that you can share folks a little bit about who you are and your intentions for Ubuntu Planet USA.
Thank you. I certainly hope my voice is coming through. Allison, you might just give me a heads up that I'm coming through okay?
Beautifully. You're coming through loud and clear.
Oh, wonderful. Well, hello, everyone. Look at where we are. If it's like it is for you as it is for me, it's like an answer to dreams and prayers and all of that for time and memoriam, that we can be here looking at the opportunity to build Ubuntu Planet right here in the U.S. and throughout the globe. And so it was very clear to me, and as you can see, that's me standing there with Michael Tellinger. I invited him here to the United States back in 2011 and had the opportunity to host him in the Washington, D.C. area. And he was on tour in the U.S., so we helped to support that throughout the U.S. during that tour time. And so here we are. It's I still sit here, and as I heard about Bolton Valley, I am amazed. And yet, at the same time, this is exactly what I've been waiting for. This is why I'm here on the planet. How about you? So guiding council elder felt like the role for me to step into. It was quite a surprise, but this has been a year of surprise. I also carry the title of Diplomat of the Biosphere as well. And so I really do look at our planet from its biosphere. And for me, Ubuntu is the natural next step for humanity. That's the way I see it. That's the way I hold it. So if we can go to the next slide, I just want to take a few moments and share where we are. We're at the early beginnings of formulating the guiding council. And as you all know from Michael's writings, that the Council of Elders is a part of every municipality that takes on Ubuntu. This is important, and so what I really feel that we're doing at this moment, as we're building Ubuntu USA, is forming the inner council that supports the leadership and supports the team, and that will be able to, in time, support each council of elders that is formed and seated according to Ubuntu Constitution. And every constitution will be adapted in working with Michael for each country. And so there's quite a process ahead of us all. And what I hope to do, along with others, is to hold the essence of Ubuntu and the rights of the people in the New Freedom Charter at the center of everything that we do. So this is really subtle work. This is prayer work. This is holding the space for what's to come. It's the container, the incubator, that which creates the space for the alchemy of all that we're doing to take place well. And so we want to steward well this work. Also, there's Ubuntu USA Party, and that will need our support as well. So everything Ubuntu. I also see in this role for myself the embodiment of the values of Ubuntu, and that includes embracing the language of unity and freedom. This means much to me because I've had a chance to, through Mandela and his example, to really understand and take on board Ubuntu in my life for several decades now. I really do see that as our individual walk in holding each other's self-esteem as equal to our own, as if our own esteem is bound up in the other. That's one of the ways that Ubuntu is felt and lived in South Africa. And it means a great deal to think about leaving the esteem of another person as you found it or better. And this is the same way we can treat the earth and all life on the earth. What a wonderful place that would be. So this, to me, epitomizes the world we want. Next slide. Going forward, what I see in the formation of the council, and we're all just working through this step by step, is an organic process, a feeling that resonates with Ubuntu through sharing it with others and finding out how resonant they are with the idea of Ubuntu and the passion for the role, and conversation with Star, myself, and others to add elders to this inner council. And then, and this was Susan's idea, and I loved it, we were thinking along the same lines of having that outer council that represents every sector that we will need to have support and wise stewardship as we dispatch and build Ubuntu enterprises. And so we have, it's early, I'm excited, my heart is overflowing that I'm actually living this. This is dream come true time. Feel like I've been totally prepared for stepping into this role, and I feel all of you must feel the same as you claim the role that is yours. So this is a time of our genius stepping forward together in group, the great many and the one. So thank you for the warm welcome today, and I'm happy to step into this role as fully as I can. Thank you all. Turning that back over to you, Allison.
Thank you, Myra. And I see that Star is here. Welcome, Star. So, Star, what we did was we just went through the agenda, but one of the things that we did jump over was number 2, the major fundraising opportunity. So, not sure if you're all connected and ready to jump in and start speaking right away, but if you'd like to, we can go back to number 2, or we can skip ahead and come back in a little bit. You let me know.
Yeah, can you hear me, Allison?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry, you guys, that I'm a little bit late for the conference. I just bought a house in the last 20 minutes. We just sealed the deal, and we've been looking for a home for about 3 months. And finally got that done today, and just had to be sitting with the agents, and I'm so sorry that I'm late, but I'm happy that I was able to get here in time to join the rest of the meeting. So I just want to talk briefly about a fundraising opportunity that Michael Tellinger has introduced me to, and it is an independent mobile network that's been developed that essentially will be a cell phone network that will be owned and run by the people. And it's already up and running. There are about 700,000 people around the world currently using it. And Ubuntu has an opportunity to create its own mobile network, and that will allow us to essentially sell the program to people who are interested, and therefore raise money for the movement. And it's also just a great opportunity for people to be free from the cell phone companies. I myself am paying a ridiculous amount of money per month for my cell phone, and this new independent cell phone network allows us to have unlimited talk, text, and data internet for $45 a month across the board. So I'll be telling you more about that. The other thing that I'll mention is that it's a 5G platform. So some of you who understand the cellular lingo know that there's 3G, 4G, and 4 LTE, and now this new program that they've created is on 5G. So it's a lot faster than the current cell phone networks, and you are able to generate your own cell phone signal from where you are, and you can also generate the signal if you buy some of the hardware. You can generate it for people who are in your immediate area. They've designed it so it's lower radiation. This is just a very innovative company that Michael has connected with that has some really exciting technology that we're able to start utilizing and then selling to people in our country. And we're expecting that this is going to explode because just about everybody has a cell phone. Just about everybody is paying way too much for their cell phones. So this is really exciting. Michael's going to be making a YouTube video very soon. I expect it to launch in the next few days, where he's going to be talking about what it's about and why he decided to invest in this. I think a lot of people criticize, any kind of fundraising ideas that he comes up with, because they say, well, I thought you weren't about money. But, as we all know, we need money to be able to get this going, to be able to transition to a society that lives moneyless. So he'll be, like I said, he'll be launching a YouTube video with more details and specifics about the name. I believe it's going to be Ubuntu Mobile, but he's going to be launching all that information very soon, and I will be filling you in as soon as I know. I'm already signed up with the program myself, and I will let you guys know as soon as possible if you're interested in joining as well. It's also a potential fundraising opportunity for you to make money if you wanted to cut down hours and put more time into Ubuntu or other things that you might be passionate about. So, like I said, there will be much more to come about that very, very soon. So, I apologize I missed the beginning. I'm assuming somebody talked about the Bolton Valley campaign. Is that right, Allison?
Yes, Susan's on the call, and she reviewed the update. And we also have the Vermont team on the webinar jam meeting, so we welcome them. Yeah,
Great.
So it's pretty exciting. Okay, so I think I'm up on the agenda because Myra, she introduced herself, and excited to have her on our team. So just for number 4, we do have an update on the write-in candidates and state delegates, and I'm going to let Lance share what he has in store for the state delegates. But to start us off, we're still working with the write-in candidates. I'm sorry, I'm going to make you dizzy here. to still, connect with all of those who at one point have demonstrated or indicated that they're interested in the write-in process for Ubuntu. And I am excited to introduce to you, I think she's on the call today. I think I saw her, Rebecca Gretz. She lives in Boulder, Colorado, and I mentioned that because she's also actively formed a meetup in her area and has got that up and running. But she came to, we connected because she was interested in the writing candidacy, but also was very passionate about the process altogether. So we just had this evolving conversation, and as a result, she has agreed to really take a look at who this group of people are that are coming to us with the passion that they have behind them. And we're going to continue to build that list out. I think right now we have roughly 30 people who have shown interest across the United States. We had many more at one point say they were interested, but life changes and things change. We understand that, and that's why we're calling everyone back to see if their life right now is saying yes to this. And Rebecca's going to be working closely with our political advisor, Dr. Lenny, and they're going to be collaborating on bringing this group of individuals together, learning about the different write-in processes for each state, because it can vary, and anything else that those individuals will need. They'll also take a look at if there is, let's say, a local level position that's open. Maybe it's a city councilman versus a mayor. What do each of those job descriptions look like? So people can say, yep, my skill set matches closer with this political position versus this political position. So a lot of things underway. And I know November is right around the corner, but we're still, there's a lot of momentum behind this, and we're just going to just keep moving forward, taking just one step at a time until we get closer and closer to our end goal. So please welcome Rebecca, and we're very thankful that she has joined us. Okay. And then I wanted to move ahead here. That's Lance's slide. So Lance, I'll just finish up here. I just wanted to make sure that everyone saw our current list of state delegates. I know some folks have come to me and feel like this is a political position. So I just want to set some clarification around this role. This role will be supporting the writing candidacies in a way of communication, but they will not necessarily be politically involved in any way. Their role is to make sure that we keep that one voice messaging as we move forward. So we are still actively looking for state delegates. We've added 3 more in the past week, but you'll see that South Carolina is in the lead with Branson and Lance, 2 awesome gentlemen. This whole list is fabulous, but we are still looking for more awesome, strong communicators. Again, this is a role about working with the core team at the national level and making sure that everyone at the state level is aware of all opportunities, aware of all current important messaging or things that have come out in communication that everyone needs to be aware of. So the state delegate role, again, is about, if you are a strong communicator or have interest in that area, please send me an email. I'll put my email address in the chat. We'd like to have 3 of these individuals in each state. So we have a ways to go. I think a lot of you are naturally this person. I see it on Ubuntu Planet, the social site. So even if it's something that you just want to talk about with me because you think you might be interested, please reach out. We're looking to build this out a little bit. So Lance, I'm going to hop off the mic. I copied and pasted your meeting information in here.
Thanks, Allison. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Great. First and foremost, I wanted to say hello to everyone. Hello to my Ubuntu fam, and great meeting all of you, all the new people that have joined. For the state delegates, we're trying to organize a meeting on July 10th where we can, first and foremost, just kind of become acquainted with one another. make sure we're all on the same page, and then craft that one voice message that we all can go out to our communities, to our local areas, and communicate out what Ubuntu is about. So far, I've just got a couple that's actually indicated that they would be able to make the meeting, so we'll be still reaching out to the others. Just to kind of change gears a little bit, I just want to talk about what's happening in Maryland. We've had our first actual presentation, and Christine Barbary, who is one of my members at the Maryland location, she actually did the presentation. It was great. We had a very, very positive turnout, and we're scheduling another one for July 30th. We'll see that come on the Circle site. We're putting together the video from the first one so everyone can see what happened there, but we're also connecting with a lot of other organizations. The key one is the Baltimore Free School, which is a very cool little cafe in this urban area, and they have a lot of literature, a lot of different people just coming together and sharing ideas. And then they have this big, huge conference room where they allow people to come and deliver messages. So that's what we partnered with them to kind of send this message out. If anyone is interested in being a write-in, particularly if you're in Maryland or Washington, D.C. area, please connect with me either on the Circle or my email address, and let's make this happen. Very pleased with the progress that we're making here in Maryland. We're growing slowly, but we are growing. Any questions? Okay, if there's no questions, I'll turn it back over to you, Allison.
Awesome. Thanks, Lance. Okay, let me head back up to our meeting agenda here to see what is on board. Oh, okay, so I'm still up, sorry. I should have kept going. So the next person I want to introduce to you, and someone who's joined my team is, sorry, I have to do this again, is Brennan Morgan. He is based out of Kentucky, and I think he's with us too. So please welcome Brennan. I believe he and his wife are watching the call tonight. He too came to me. We started having a conversation about him interested in the write-in candidacy for his area. And through conversations with Brennan, I quickly recognized that he has an extreme amount of knowledge with implementation in regards to communities very similar to Ubuntu. And he had created a nonprofit organization that focused on sustainable development. So Ed, definitely this is someone that you want to speak to. Brennan and I spoke one more time yesterday, and I need to connect people with Brennan. His knowledge goes far and wide. He has a lot of information about low-cost energy solutions, and I should back up a minute. So what Brennan did was his nonprofit focused on a piece of land in Belize, and he's excited to see that this is really moved to the United States. So, and he is also comes, and I'm sorry, Brennan, the way this is set up, it's not easy to have people hop on the microphone, otherwise I would have. But he has worked with different states and understands the different regulations that come with if you want to do things like catch rainwater, like if you need to have it tested within 89 days, otherwise you could have your whole entire system ripped out. So he understands that each state has a certain set of regulations and laws. He just comes with lots of super knowledge. And he also knows a lot about permaculture. He's collaborated with higher education. And the reason why that is so awesome was because the students from the local university were able to learn from the experience, and there was some tuition reimbursement, things like that had happened. So that was a very interesting concept that I need to pick his brain deeper about. He also has the experience of building a nonprofit status for an organization. So STAR, that lit up my eyes too. Also, community membership, and this is something that Amanda's going to be talking about here soon, but we have a lot of interest for people who want to move to these types of communities. So how do you go about getting the right fit? So it's just whole interesting concept, conversations that he's already had, thoughts that he has had. So I'm really super excited to welcome Brennan to our team. I just think that he's going to be a tremendous asset, and he's very excited to get this going. So welcome, Brennan. We're glad to see you. And I think you're here. I think I saw you signed in, and happy to have you on the team. All right, so let me go back up. I think I'm turning it back to someone else. Yes, Kat. So Kat, let me get you ready to go. Any questions for Brennan, just type them in the chat or me, and but Ed, definitely somebody that you want to connect. Okay, Kat, your microphone is off, so we should be good.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello,
Yay!
Ubuntu? Hello, systems?
Yay!
Hello, systems busters! This is Kat Lopez, Media Contact. I'm so happy to be here in this wonderful space with you beautiful beings. I'm going to give a brief on what media has been working on and a little bit about myself. But first I wanted to comment on what Ubuntu means to me, why I'm here doing what I'm doing. I'm here because I believe in change. I believe when something is broken, it's time to fix it. I'm here because I love progress, creating, and moving forward, because I believe that stagnation is the death of creativity. And if we're not creating, then what are we doing in a body on a planet? What is the reason? What is our purpose? And I'm here because I'm a huge fan in the upliftment of humanity. I know what we're capable of accomplishing together. There are many accounts on the power of unity. Ubuntu is direct action by the people for the people, and that's why I'm here. This is what Ubuntu means to me at root and core. And speaking as an activist, I cannot imagine a better place to be than right here now, shifting the paradigm of the world as we know it. Direct action is what's changing the game around here. And this is for the children. It's all about the children and leaving this place in a much better state than how we found it, and that's very exciting to me. Now, what is a media contact, and what is the purpose of a media contact? A media contact initiates and maintains contact with all media sources available: radio, print media, television, Twitter, social media, SMS, texts, and so on and so forth. And the purpose of that is to create and cultivate long-lasting relationships. And those are the types of relationships that ensures concerted actions in the future. A little bit about me. I've been in the media for over 15 years. I've worked as an entertainment reporter for the TV Guide, a traffic reporter for Westwood One. I worked as a news producer for NBC Philadelphia, WCAU, and I worked for a couple of local stations, Channel 7 and 62. I have experience in event planning, fundraising, marketing, trade outs, public relations, print media, television production, radio, and advertising. A little bit about Team Media and who we are, what we have so far. Pardon me. We have two fabulous writers, Adam Breidenthal and Jay Kashati, and they have finished up, or are finishing up rather, the Ubuntu Media Kit. Beth Polak, our public relations ambassador, she's also collaborating with us, and Beth and Jay recently finished our press release. Now, these two pieces, once reviewed and approved, will serve as Ubuntu USA's calling card to the masses. The Media Kit is in a simple format for nonprofit groups. It includes pages such as Ubuntu's mission statement, a description on contributionism, frequently asked questions, the biographies of Michael Tellinger and Star McKinnon, and then Beth, public relations wizard, suggested to have a feature story on Michael Tellinger. To be discussed, we will brainstorm on that one. There's a lot of ways this can go, and it's a lot of fun. The Media Kit is a work in progress. It can be tweaked, shaped, molded, but we have a really good base to start. Team Media also has the support of 2 other collaborators, John DiBiase and James Maloney. Thank you, John and James, for being here. On ubuntuplanet.org, I've opened up a media circle, and everyone's invited to visit and post articles of interest. It's fairly new. I've only posted a few articles, and I will be adding more content this week. A quickie on the volunteer list. Cheryl Rogers has organized our volunteers into this program called Airtable, airtable.com, so that Ubuntu management can have easy access. You can see their skills, if they're available, what they're working on, blah, blah, and you can contact Cheryl for more details, or me. One of our collaborators, John DiBiase, who's also giving us research support, brought to our attention a local station in his area in Connecticut. The website is wpkn.org. This is in Bridgeport, New Haven, Connecticut. The station has a news and public affairs program called Counterpoint. The host of Counterpoint is Scott Harris. And the energetics of that program feels like a really good platform for Ubuntu. So we will be reaching out to them at some point soon. And last but not least, I have acquired the 2016-2017 New York, New Jersey Publicity Guide and Media Directory, which has hundreds of media contact. This is going to save us a whole lot of research time. And once the Media Kit is approved, we have our contact list, boom, we're on our way. So yes, we can talk about that, and this is very exciting. What is media going to do next? That all depends on what's brewing with Susan Jameson. I can't wait to find out about that. This is all I have for now, and thank you for your time. Peace and prosperity to everyone. I am honored and humbled to share this space with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you so much. So if you have any questions for Kat, go ahead and type those into the chat box. And I think, Star, you're up for number 7.
Thanks, Allison, and thank you, Kat. I also just want to thank you, Kat, for your assistance. Kat is sort of my go-to gal when I get overwhelmed by emails and requests, and so I'll often send them her way, and she's been handling that for me, and I really appreciate that extra support. So I wanted to take a moment to just introduce our new Ubuntu USA webmaster. I couldn't remember if I introduced him at the last collaboration session, but Jeremy Colt has stepped forward, and he is going to be serving as our Ubuntu webmaster and managing our web page for us. And so he will be the person that you would want to contact if you have anything that needs to be changed on the website, or if there are things that you might want to put on the website. Just send me an email and CC Jeremy on there. And he is also assisting the global webmaster, and who is Urush. And Urush is amazing and is managing many, many countries' websites, and was very thankful that Jeremy was willing to take over the USA site. And so I just wanted to introduce Jeremy to everyone and just thank him for his contribution to the movement. And we're so happy to have you aboard. And so Allison, if you want to move to the next point. Okay, Susan, you're on. Susan, go ahead and jump on whenever you're ready and fill us in.
Hi again, everybody. This is Susan, and many years ago, before there was internet actually, I used to walk around with a black bag with files of organizations that were doing great work in the world to change it consciously and to transform and to create a world of justice and peace. And in 2004, I came upon an organization called We the World, world. At the time, I was working with a group called the Transitioners, and we co-created this event called the 11 Days of Global Unity, and that happened the date September 11th, and then September 21, which is the International Day of Peace. So I reconnected with Rick Olfick, who's the director of We the World and We.net, and I've talked with him about Michael Tellinger and the Ubuntu community, our family here, being responsible for the economic justice theme. And this is, again, local, regional, national, and international. So we have an opportunity to do something quite wonderful in presenting ourselves through New York, but actually through the world, because, let's see if I can find this. I mean, folks who I've met through the 11 days are Jane Goodall, Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Way back, there were other folks like Marianne Williamson, Bill McKibben's been involved. So there are organizations and communities that participate from around the world. And it's convergence of conferences and conversations and festivals, and people are asked to participate. So from the very beginning, Michael Tellinger said yes, he would love our organization to be a partner in this. So this is something that we're going to work on. I'll be speaking and working closely with Myra and Star and anybody else who's appropriate, and certainly our media team. I'm looking forward to meeting with all of you. And also, this is the time that Michael will be in the city. So you are all invited. We are going to have a team meeting at the time, but there are also going to be presentations open to the public. And on September 18th, Michael will be presenting at Central Park. So it's an exciting time between September 11th and September 21, and I'm sure we'll have more time to speak about it. And just for your information, the themes are unity and interdependence and the environment, environmental justice, health, youth, women, human rights, disarmament, and peace. So it's all about creating a just world for our humanity. And what better group than our group to represent the economic justice for the 11 Days of Global Unity, which is truly a worldwide initiative that's been happening since 2004. So here we are in the 12th year. So that's it. I'll turn it over. If you have any questions, please contact me. And Myra knows a great deal about this. She's been involved for years as well.
Yeah, Myra, actually, if you wanted, if there was anything you wanted to say, Myra, feel free to jump in.
Oh, I think Susan covered it really well. I think what I would add is that we have an opportunity with Michael coming into country to really book his time up solid. And as soon as we get wind as to how much time we have, we do want to work very closely with Kat and Beth and the team there to pull his agenda together so that it's far-reaching and deeply penetrating, I would say. This is a visit to leverage well for Ubuntu. So I'll be there. I'll be fully available to help Susan all the way and provide all the media contacts that I have, Kat. I will dump all those in your lap happily. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Myra, and Susan, thank you. It's a very exciting opportunity, as they mentioned. I'm going to try to get myself out there from San Diego and be present to be part of this amazing event and the meeting of hearts in New York. It's going to be a really, really special event. So I hope that many of you will try to come as well. So I want to pass it along now to
Where are you?
To Karma, and Karma, are you able to jump on and say a few words about the wonderful plan of action that you've developed?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Star.
Hello.
I'm here.
Yay.
Yay, I made it.
I'm so happy.
Yes, as am I. Thank you to all those presenters who've gone before. You are really trailblazing and doing amazing work. I feel the resonance of this group, and it's really, really powerful. And so it is quite an honor to be in circle with you all. Before I begin, actually, I'm going to start to add my resonance in with a song that I feel I need to share with this group, and I've shared it with you, Star. It's just a short little chant that goes once around that uses the message of Ubuntu in it, and I just feel really moved to share that with everyone to set the tone of what I want to share. And it just says, I love who I am, 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 and no one can diminish me. I love who you are, 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 and no one can diminish you. I love who we are, 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 because we are, I am.
Wonderful.
Thank you. So for me, Ubuntu, I am because we are, is really a powerful message that has been, resonating on this planet louder and stronger and fuller and wider for some time. And about 2-3 years ago, I started hearing the call of Ubuntu when I created a sort of a self-learning program for my 16-year-old son at the time who was interested in rap and hip-hop, and I decided that we were going to go on a road trip together, and I really wanted to help him understand the roots of hip-hop and the roots of this movement of the people. And for me, it extended back to Africa and to Ubuntu, and to help him see that the original hip-hop movement was really an Ubuntu movement, a movement of people saying, we are the authority of what we want to know. And we don't just need to subscribe to the dominant culture to learn who we are. And we know who we are, and we're going to teach ourselves that through our music. Because the other really important part to me of Ubuntu is that, and living and learning with Ubuntu, is remembering that we are of a rhythm culture, that we are a rhythm people, and that rhythm is organic and it comes from the source within the source of ourselves. And so it was a really wonderful experience that we had, and it helped, it actually flowed over into my work as a public school teacher. I'm an art teacher. And I started this whole Ubuntu education curriculum, the beginnings of it, to add into my already started peace education through the arts. And so every year we would start the year with the art of making peace and understanding the roots of Ubuntu and the roots of being a rhythm culture connected to one another through this I am because we are. So how I'm seeing, I have the sheet. I don't know if that's showing right now that I had shared with Allison, but that was sent around, and it's my formal academic self writing in that, and I feel more that I want to share sort of what the spirit is of what I'm pursuing and seeking or trying to bring forth and give shape and form to as the education ambassador. Which is really the spirit of linking up and weaving each other together. I really believe that more than recreating the wheel. It is a time for us to educate ourselves through research, through awareness and informing ourselves of all the amazing work, as I think Susan and Myra pointed out, that is already being done on this planet around the globe. I give examples of it in the document. But that this notion of, we are weaving this net, we are weaving this quilt, we're weaving this web of humanity through I am, we are. And I understand, to me there are several different components of this, or rather there are several different threads and currents and rhythms, really, to weave together into this orchestra of Ubuntu education, because it's really letting go of the word education and inserting the word living and learning, because there is really nothing that is not education. There is nothing that is not living and learning, and we are always, every aspect, every molecule, every interaction, every conversation, every observation is an opportunity for learning, for looking, for listening, and for learning, and sowing that wisdom into our creative purpose, the reason that we're here on this planet. So I see my role, I'll touch a little bit, I'm going to go, I guess, back and forth. My role is to be accountable for researching and knowing what is already happening in this field of education for sustainability, and to be accountable for forming and attracting together a council of advisors, like the Council of Elders, who I just want to throw out to Susan and Myra. I really definitely want to connect Myra with Jyoti because of all the elder work she does with the Indigenous grandmothers, the 13 International Indigenous Council of 13 Grandmothers. There's a great connection there for that council. To also be accountable for designing an educational framework that helps us live and learn in alignment with the principles, practices, and perspective that define an Ubuntu paradigm. To be accountable for upholding a standard of integrity to attract, assess, and approve what constitutes living and learning in the spirit of Ubuntu. And that's a really wide net, I'm excited as I do the research and start to speak with people who are doing wonderful things right around me locally. For me, that's how I need to start. I need to start with people who are around me physically, because just in my little square, in my little town, there's so much that I don't know about, that I need to know about, that I need to be aware of, from the homeschoolers to the unschoolers to the world schoolers. I really see, as far as the pathway for, sort of this quote-unquote primary education, K through 12, we really need to look to those who have already been going off the beaten path, those who have already, said this system does not support the living and learning of my child and of our family, because it's really about integrating education, quote-unquote, into the community, to really doing away with, to me, school as a separate box where children go to, and really weaving our communities into being living and learning, thriving centers where we grow creative purpose and meet our relevant needs and perform relevant rituals that heal our lives and restore our well-being when we have breakdown, and understanding that life is a cycle of living and learning. And it's a healing process. That's another important part to me about education, like really helping people understand that we are constantly coming undone and becoming one, and that learning has to be sort of housed in that understanding, so that our children can grow up not feeling all the time that something is wrong with them when they're coming undone, but that we develop their emotional literacy and their connection to the cycles and seasons and rhythms of nature, so that they understand this ebb and flow in their emotional and psychological and spiritual birthing process. That's not a part of perfunctory education at all. So that's what I'm working on, right now, is really understanding what's out there, attracting together a council, and beginning to sort of create this framework where we can see the currents, where we can see each other, and I want to learn how to use that connector more, the Ubuntu connector, because I feel that that will be a great tool for that weaving and that grid work. Another thing that is developing, as I have spoken via email with Jessica, who is the woman interested in doing podcasts, because I see, sort of this adult forum of living and learning, but of course it spans the generations, to create basically an Ubuntu TEDx forum. So using models that are already proven to work and work well, and to use them and apply them in this Ubuntu paradigm. So, we've talked about different various themes that we want to cover through interviews, through different types of podcasts that cover different Ubuntu themes around all of it, economic, sustainable, education, because it's all, again, living and learning. Then I would say the other big thing to me links in with the political sphere, which is, again, the education or, the preparation of those individuals wanting to take on leadership roles in the political party, and creating I don't know if anyone knows about Awakening the Dreamer and the Pachamama Alliance. They're a great example to me of an organization that has really created a powerful training experience that helps to tell their story or their interpretation of the story of how we got to where we are and what's next and how do we do what's next. So I feel that creating both an in-person and an online program that prepares citizens and those citizens who want to be leaders with what they need. I've been speaking with one of our volunteers, and she has started to try to build a framework around that. And I also think that Jessica will be a valuable participant in that process as well. These are all seed, these are all in seed stages, but these are some of the things that I see. So I call it, I also see Ubuntu and contributionism as two different threads, two different branches that are linked. Because to me, there's Ubuntu, which again is to me it's a cultural concept, which can be applied with contributionism and without contributionism through these stages of transition. Contributionism to me is more about, and that goes to the delegates and the write-ins, really understanding a political policy and practice that we want to implement to switch us, to help us cross over into a new economic, political paradigm of living in society together. Whereas Ubuntu, to me, it's a cultural way of being. It's a perspective and a worldview that actually translates and is found in many different cultures. So I do feel that there just needs to be clarity around that for people when we are talking about it. I'm just going back and forth to my document here. So some things that I see needing, right? Assigning a contributionism leadership training coordinator to form their core team of volunteers. I feel like people who are currently interested in becoming delegates are the perfect people to start to ask the questions, well, what do I need to know as a delegate? What do I need, and not just facts, but also leadership skills and collaboration skills of understanding how to navigate the terrain, to not be naive, and to really, it's like to help people really to make headway and to make it as efficiently as possible and really understand what they're talking about so that they can convey it clearly and comprehensively to people who have no idea what they're talking about, to help them understand. And then I say assigning an Ubuntu Education Network coordinator. And this is again with the Ubuntu Connector platform, helping people to identify themselves as potential educators and helping us to streamline them into the TEDx forum so that they can share their knowledge and their skills and share that with the world. Again, that's something I really see Jessica being a big part of. And then to me, there's the Ubuntu-based K-12 curriculum coordinator, and that goes into more this notion of of educating, of childhood development and educating children at different stages, and also addressing this notion of transition. Yes, there are people who are already living in intentional communities and they're doing their thing, but then there are people like myself who we're trying to find our way out of this. And how do we offer a database for people to find quote-unquote lesson plans and activities and resources that can help them forge these pathways to cross over into an Ubuntu paradigm. So that's not necessarily a contributionism model, that's just, again, Ubuntu, thinking about I am, we are, thinking about education for sustainability. And again, there are amazing sites that already have massive databases, the Cloud Institute, the Global Oneness Project, the Americans Who Tell the Truth Project, amazing resources. So it's not so much about us having to create new curriculum, even though, yes, some specific Ubuntu curriculum that really deals with the cultural context of Ubuntu and applying it in relevant ways to our modern world, but also understanding how Ubuntu shows up in the work that other people are doing that's not called Ubuntu. I will also just say that I really appreciated Jeff sharing that any work that we do with education and providing materials or providing templates in ways all needs to go through a lens of cultural sensitivity, cultural specificity, to be specific to Native cultures, to be specific to African American cultures, so that we are not assuming, again, the mainstream culture, to be sensitive to different populations' needs and approaches to organizing community and being in community, and also being aware of the different political and economic struggles and challenges that they face in their geographic areas. That anything we do needs to have, there needs to be a member of each of those teams to be thinking about that and tending to that, so that we can have as many portals or plugins for as many different cultural lenses to help us all see the reality and see the functionality of this, of this path that we're creating for people. So all in all, I don't want to keep going on. I know my document is kind of dense and long, but I welcome questions and I welcome people emailing me who are interested or who know people that I should be connected to in terms of that K through 12 curriculum, the leadership training in Ubuntu and contributionism, and also this notion of the TEDx, really helping people who want to share their wisdom and knowledge to get them out to the world through podcasts and online vehicles. So that's it for Karma Cloud. Signing off.
Well, that was a lot of awesomeness, Karma, and I think a lot of people had a lot of great feedback for you too. This document that we are displaying now will go out with the notes. So there was a little bit more, and I was trying to stick with Carmen. I think you said most of what's on here, so it'll be a nice review for those of you either watching the recording or may have some additional questions. So thanks again, Karma, for all of your work and your vision.
You are welcome. Thank you for letting me share it.
All right, let me switch back to our slides. See where we're at here. Okay, it looks like Amanda, you're up.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I would just like to thank Karma for that beautiful and inspiring song. I think that really touched everyone here. Secondly, I too have a list of media contacts in New York that I had acquired doing a charity stunt in New York in 2014 from periodicals like Newsweek, the New York Times, Time Magazine, Reuters, NBC, ABC. So I'll be sending that to you as well, Kat. Yeah, so you'll have a lot of really good contacts there. Hopefully we can get Michael some good interviews here in September and we'll all be able to meet up. Also, I would like to encourage everyone who hasn't already donated to the Vermont Fund to donate if you can, even if it's just $1 or $5. I believe Morgan posted a link to the Generosity Fund where you can submit a payment as much as you can. I think right now we've already raised around $10,000 in just 6 days, so that's really exciting. Also, if I'm not sure if everyone has or has not here in this group, it would be really great if you could share the Ubuntu Planet USA Facebook friends with any like-minded friends you may have on Facebook or Twitter. We're trying to get up to about 10,000 followers, and right now we need a little more than 200 more likes to get to 10,000 followers. So we're growing exponentially in that department. Getting very close indeed, Allison. So also one last thing, I've been using my time on Facebook to reach out to like-minded organizations, self-sustainable communities, and try and get more people on board that already have like-minded initiatives so that we don't have to start from scratch. So I've got a lot of interest there, but in that I've also gotten a lot of questions and a lot of emails specifically about something that I believe H asked about earlier, but opening up the table for discussion about what we should do in terms of backlash, in terms of media outlets that might want to say something negative about us, and also in regard to what Allison was talking about, how Brennan is now going to be helping us and has more experience with this than we do. But perhaps doing background checks on people who may be joining our communities, making sure that people don't have criminal histories and that sort of thing. We do need to be as careful as we can about infiltrators. Yeah, so I just wanted to open the table up for that because I'm getting a lot of questions about what we should do in terms of trusting each other and trusting the people who join our community in the future.
Thanks, Amanda. This is Star again, and I think that they're very valid points and questions, and I would like to bring that to the team meeting that we'll be having this coming week so that we can really decide as a team how we want to proceed in terms of protecting ourselves, because we can expect that there will be some resistance along the way, there will be some backlash, there will be people who do not really believe, that this is even a possibility, which is why I think that, putting something together like the Bolton, Vermont community is so crucially important because actions speak so much louder than words. We need to show people that this does work, and you're right, Amanda. I think we need to be very conscientious about how we assemble the communities and who who's invited to be a part of the initial communities, and we will develop a format response as a team to any kind of backlash that might occur. I know that you've already been dealing with some of it on the social media sites, and
We can't hear Star, or I can't.
Okay, I thought it was just me, so it just might be Star, so maybe she's just having a connection issue.
Can someone email her or chat her or something? Maybe she doesn't realize it.
I'm gonna quick text her.
Great.
It sounds like, Allison, that some people have lost audio, so I think maybe she's having difficulties. Yeah.
Okay, Star, we lost you, so now you're back, so that's good.
Oh, you did? Okay, I was just talking for the last several minutes. Did anyone hear me?
No, you completely dropped off, Star.
Oh no. Okay. Okay. So just a brief reiteration. I think those are very, very important and valid considerations. I think that you're absolutely right that we need to be very conscientious about how we assemble the initial communities, and we need to create some kind of protocol to protect the team. I mean, I don't want to set anything up to be in the vibration of expectation of having infiltration or having those types of problems developing, but I think that it is important that we have something in place and that we're ready to be able to respond in that type of situation, because it will occur. So I invite the core team members will be meeting this coming week, and I invite us to have a discussion about that when we meet as a team, and we can figure out how we want to approach that specific question, because it is a very important one.
Thank you, Star.
Okay, good. Did you have anything else you wanted to say, Amanda? Oh, the other thing that I said was just how awesome you are, and how I've just been following what you're doing with the social media sites, and I see how much you're putting into them, and I just really appreciate everything that you're doing in the service of the movement. It's you're doing a fantastic job, and I'm just so grateful that you're a member of the team.
Oh, thank you so much, Star. You know, we're pushing it pretty hard. I actually got my husband involved too, so he's helping me share things that he finds as well. And we're seeing where we're getting 100+ likes on every post, which is around 95% better than previous posts had been. We're just trying to drive it as hard as we can. But yeah, the only reason why I asked, in accordance to, I guess, backlash and that sort of thing, it's just through this, I have gotten some pretty intimidating emails and that sort of thing that I think that if we had a plan of action in place, and we'll obviously discuss it in a few days, but that we can go ahead and start telling all members, you know, this is the protocol for when something like this happens.
Mm-hmm, absolutely, and that is something that I mentioned when I dropped off the face of the earth. But I would encourage anyone who gets anyone who comes to you with any kind of aggressive comments or statements, please forward them directly to me. You know, luckily I'm a licensed psychologist, so I'm well trained in conflict resolution and crisis management and de-escalating people and reading people. So I would be happy to interact with them until we get a protocol in place as a team to be able to address that specific issue. So thank you so much, Amanda. The last point that I had on the agenda here is just to put the word out that we're seeking some marketing specialists to try to increase awareness about Ubuntu. So if you have any marketing skills or know anyone who has marketing skills, please contact myself or Allison. Also, if you have any experience or interest in event planning, we are going to have the event in September, along with other events that we'll be planning. We hope to have Music and Arts Festival for Ubuntu, and hopefully it will be at our new site in Vermont. Also, we're looking for assistance with WordPress, which luckily Jeremy was able to step in and offer some assistance. But if you or you know someone who is familiar with WordPress, the global webmaster is looking for assistance with WordPress because he's managing quite a bit of content through the global site. So please reach out to myself or Jeremy. And lastly, we're still looking for anyone with financial or legal experience that might be interested in assisting us as we finalize the nonprofit registration and some of the legal structure and financial structure that will be put in place for Ubuntu USA. So if you have experience in either of those two areas, please reach out to myself or to Allison. We would love to talk to you. So Allison, did we have anything else on the agenda?
That was it. That was everything.
Okay, great. So I just want to say, we are an incredible group of people, and just listening to all of you and Karma, the song. That song gets me every time. I still play it because you sent me the link on my phone, and I still play that occasionally just to remember who I am and what's important, and just to reconnect to my purpose. And that was just that was beautiful. That should be our Ubuntu theme song. I just want to say that I really appreciate all of you, and I'm so grateful that all of you have been inspired to take part in this movement. And I know that a lot of us have busy lives, including myself. My intention, and I've just notified one of the hospitals that I work for that I'm going to be cutting back my hours to 3 days a week instead of 5 days a week. And I'm making arrangements in my personal life so that I can have open space for Ubuntu and for myself and for my family. And so I will be much more available, and we'll have much more time to put into the formation and the facilitation of Ubuntu as we move forward. But I just wanted to say how grateful I am for everyone who has stepped forward and who has offered their time and energy. And my heart just gets so filled every time that I meet up as a group with all of you. And I'm so excited about the potential of what we're doing here. It is happening. It is unfolding. And every week there are big parts of the movement coming together, and the universe is truly behind us, and it is all happening now. With that said, in the future, if you want to speak, if you feel like if you want to be a presenter on one of the future collaboration meetings, please contact myself or Allison. We have many members of the team at this point, but if you would like to speak and share about what's happening in your circle, please let us know, and we can set you up to be a presenter for the next collaboration meeting. Allison, did you want to jump in and talk about the next meeting, or did you have any last points that you wanted to address?
So I am going to double check. The next meeting is, we follow that sequence, I believe it's the fourth Sunday of every month. And I do believe when we set it up that, or I try to, I'm still learning this tool, it's a fairly new tool, that you hopefully won't have to re-register. So, which is nice, because then you'll automatically, if you're not able to make any of the meetings, you'll automatically get the recording and any of the training collateral that came out, or any information that's come out. So I'll double check that, and then, but we'll still make an announcement for those who would like to register, who maybe, every time we do one of these, our enrollment is growing, and it's just amazing. Of course, that's what we're hoping for, asking the universe for, but just to see that growth has been enormous. One other thing I do want to touch upon is that we were to have a newsletter come out this week, but actually, I was traveling, and then I knew there was tons of announcements coming out on this call, so I just wanted to wait. So we'll push out a newsletter this coming week, and I believe we're encouraging folks to get on. It's not an RSS feed, Brennan, if you're listening. It's not an RSS feed. You will get a new newsletter if you sign up for that feature, and so every time we post one, you'll get the new newsletter delivered to you. So I think that's everything, and I do want to just mention to TJ, because I've gotten a couple communications from him. Unfortunately, this tool is not malleable enough that people can hop on and off the microphone. So we're not trying to make life difficult. It's just that we do need to know ahead of time if you want to be a presenter, because we've tried that in the past and we've had some connection issues for those hopping on and off the microphone, and we wouldn't be able to do that for everybody in the room. So like Star said, please just submit your ideas and we'd be happy to get you on a call. And I think that's it, but I'm going to hop off to see if you have any final words for the group, Star.
Thanks, Allison. I just want to see, it looks like there might be a couple questions here. So Nisha is asking what's up with the nonprofit status. So We are still working on getting that paperwork submitted. The paperwork's all been completed, as far as I understand, and we will be needing to register within each state, and we are working on doing that. It's kind of a lengthy process, but the good news is we can continue to move forward, and we can begin to accept donations up to a certain amount before we are officially registered, and we will let you know, hopefully by the next collaboration meeting, everything will be submitted, and we will be officially registered as a nonprofit organization. So hopefully that answers your question. And it looks like, okay, H. So is that one of the aims of the group? So you're asking if Ubuntu is playing a protection role. So I guess I'm not exactly sure what you mean by playing a protection role. Are you able to clarify the question that you're asking? Or if somebody else is understanding that question more clearly, feel free to jump in. Oh, to protect the message. Okay. Yeah, so part of our role is to protect the message and really to provide, we've used the phrase one voice. So we do want to make sure that everyone is sharing a similar message and is in alignment with what we're putting out as a team, and that's something that I know that I am monitoring, and I know that the media and PR people are also monitoring, and Amanda as well on social media. But we are going to be, and it looks like you reiterated the same question there. Yeah, so we're going to be meeting as a group, as I said, this coming week to be talking about what to do if there is some backlash, or there are people who are challenging what we're putting out, the information that we're putting out, or people who are putting misinformation out. So we'll be meeting as a group this coming week to develop an approach or a protocol to put in place for responding in that type of situation. But to respond to your first question, yeah, we are definitely just trying to solidify the voice as much as possible, which is why anytime that we release information as a team, it goes through almost the whole team. It goes through myself, it'll go through PR, and several people will review and edit it to make sure that it's in alignment with the values of the group. And we do want to stay in alignment with the material that Michael has put out with the philosophy of Ubuntu, and it can easily start to move into different areas because the philosophy of Ubuntu attracts so many different people who have so many different perspectives and interests. And so we are working as a team to try to solidify the information and the message that we're presenting to the world. But like I said, we'll be meeting this coming week to really address that in more detail and to try to develop an approach that we can use as a team when that situation arises. I hope that that answered your question. Does anybody else have any other questions that they'd like to ask before we wrap up for the evening? Okay, so again, as Amanda said, I would encourage all of you to donate to the Vermont campaign if you're able. Even $1 helps us out. If we can get enough people to donate $1, we'll get to our goal. And or it's helpful just to share the link or share on on Facebook or Twitter, and just to get the message out there. Another thing that I want to work with our team on doing is just to create a very small brief and clear description about what Ubuntu is, and because I think a lot of people have heard about it and might be aware of it, but they're not really sure what it is and what it means. And so I think it would be really helpful for us to develop a very brief description of what it is, what we stand for, so that we can put that out there and we can start really integrating that into the general awareness. So that's something that I'll be working on and would like to discuss in the team meeting coming up as well. So, Allison, do you have anything else that you wanted to address?
I think we covered everything. I'm good.
Okay, thank you guys so much for attending. Again, I apologize for being late, and I really appreciate all of the information that the presenters shared today. As always, feel free to reach out to me via email if you have specific questions or would like to get involved in any other way. And I wish you all a wonderful evening, and I look forward to seeing you all at the next collaboration meeting. Thank you, everybody, and have a great night.